With a long drive ahead of us, we packed up and hit the road for the Sunshine State. 17 hours straight through, and then we were taking in the white sands of Daytona Beach by Thursday evening. Our first look up close at the World Center of Racing Daytona International Speedway. All we can say is wow. We took care of the pre-race details, packet pickup, but encountered just a slight delay.
All right, so we're standing to the side of the line because we have to show USAT card. I had mine, but Tiffany gave me hers when we left the house, but I forgot that in my purse.
Crisis averted, back in line, and a quick introduction with race director Jillian Wilkins, a rock star for sure. Then to the goods, race numbers, timing chips, and the swag. That's really why we race, right? Bike check-in started at 1 p.m., so we took care of detailing our bikes in the parking lot, then made the short stroll to transition. Along the way, we realized the power of social media and met a fellow Instagram follower who tracked us down and chatted with us for a bit. This is another reason why we love to race. Back to business at hand, we scored our spots in transition, racked the bikes, and then left them for their slumber party with 700 of their closest friends for the night.
So we typically having to run in barefoot on pavement, which is never enjoyable.
And some pavement is worse than others. This is definitely red carpet treatment for sure.
While we were next to the swim start, we took a look at the course, then had our little shakeout run back to the track. We had very important business to tend to. It's called a hot lap, and we took 3. The best way to get a tour of the Speedway in person.
If you're coming to Daytona, you have to experience that because, yeah, you can have no imagination of what 31-degree banking, 100 plus miles an hour. It goes so fast, but it is cool. It's surreal. It really was.
Yeah, that was a rush for sure, and I'm so glad that we had time to do that. I mean, it gives you a whole new appreciation for what those drivers actually have to do and go through at an even higher speed. They're going
with 40 other cars on the track.
Oh man,
I can only fathom how incredible that is.
Yeah.
Even though we were running a bit behind on our itinerary, it was worth it to ride in the pace car. From there, we walked back to the swim start to get a feel for the water with a short practice swim in Lake Lloyd, the lake inside the Speedway.
So, water temperature's nice. It's cold, but it's good. But you get a little vertigo getting out.
Feeling good. That was a great swim. Water is chilly, but it felt. Once you got going, it felt really good.
Our actual race experience probably started the night before when we were trying to take a hot shower and there was no water in the Airbnb.
Yeah, when you've done a practice swim in a lake and it's the night before the race and all you want is a warm shower to clean up and warm up, then you come home.
So nada. Nothing. Came across 2 sweet ladies and they gave me their key to a unit that has running water. So they are our saving grace today. We just put together a quick bag. We're gonna go down to 121 and hope that all is safe and well, and we're gonna get cleaned up and then come back. Hopefully we can put dinner together with no water.
If we're not back in 30 minutes, come look for our bodies.
All I could hope for is for the short amount of sleep that I would get on pre-race night, I would get the best sleep I could. And as soon as the alarm went off, I was ready to go. I was wide awake, fired up. It was race day. I felt good.
Alarm went off and I was ready. You know, I was ready to get the morning going, get the day going. I was excited to see what the day was going to bring. So we got up and ready, and I think we even left the Airbnb a few minutes ahead of schedule, which, you know, I'll take it. And then we got to the venue, got our transition set up. I had a slight bike issue. My bar tape was coming unraveled, so I had to find some electrical tape. Luckily, VeloFix was right outside transition. They were nice enough to give me a whole roll of electrical tape, so I was able to get that fixed quickly.
As we were walking to the swim start during the national anthem, there were fireworks going off. And right then and there, I knew it was just going to be a different kind of day. Caitlin and I both knew that this day was going to be special. So we made our way to the swim start, and they were already starting to roll into the water, and I had to kind of pick where I thought the 30 to 35 minute swim pace group was going to be. And as soon as my face hit the water, I just started taking the strokes, found a great rhythm, and everything felt so good.
Got to the edge of the water, and I just dove in, and I went. I was putting it all out there.
The wetsuit felt the best it's felt in the last 2 weeks. My stroke felt strong. I just felt like I could maintain it and keep going toward the finish line.
Had a really good swim. The water was choppy. I took in a little water. I had a little waves, but all in all, I'd say it went really well.
It was a little choppy, but for me, that's not too much of a big deal. As far as I know, nobody passed me in the swim, or at least in proximity of where I was, but I did a lot of passing, and for the most part, there really weren't a lot of people around me, so I knew I was just really knocking it out of the park.
I did hit a PR of 40:28. I was shooting for 40, but hey, I'll take those 28 seconds. It's okay. It's still a PR by almost 3 minutes.
When I came out of the swim finish, I thought maybe I was going to be about 34 minutes, which would have been a 1 minute PR. I actually came out at 31 minutes and some change, and I was like, whoa. Now, I know Natasha told us not to look at our watches getting out of the water, but for me, I just had to know. I would have been okay if it would have been slower, but to see that 31 minutes on my watch, I think that set up the rest of the day. Keep freaking on! So I made my way to T1 and made all the changes I needed to. I took a little extra time to put some eardrops in because I didn't want to have vertigo or sloshing water in my ears on the bike. It was worth it to me to take the extra 30 seconds. And then it was out on the bike. You know, I made my way out pretty quickly, past a few men just getting to the track. And once you go into the NASCAR track, it is just like exhilarating.
Bike course was very exhilarating. At the very beginning of the bike course, it dumps you onto a small bank, and you're on that bank, and it's like, I don't know, you can't help but just holler. And so I did, and you know, it was such a cool feeling. And we did 2.5 laps on the Daytona NASCAR track. It's very cool. I mean, you're not going to get that experience anywhere else.
I just couldn't help but look around and see the sights and how big the grandstands were and the banking on the track, and to think, I'm getting to ride my bike on this track on this day in this crazy year.
On the bike, I've never gone sub 3 hours. During the race, I smashed it. I went 2:38. So that was probably the biggest win for me on race day.
After the first 5 miles, I settled into my goal power, and I was right on it. Every single 5-mile split, I was right where I wanted to be. My heart rate was in perfect check. This is what I trained for, and this is what race day should be. So the bike training has paid off. So I came back to T2, and I had a huge bike PR. I think it was about 2:48 was my bike time, give or take, and you know, had never gone sub 3, and I think even my fastest bike time maybe was like 3:14. So I destroyed my bike PR, and after the swim and the bike and knowing what the times were, I knew all I had to do was even just a decent, maybe even just a mediocre run, and I was still going to have a big PR on the day.
One more to go. You know, Tiffany and I, we never start the swim together, but ultimately we always end up doing at least part of the run together or finishing the whole race together. So I like to think that says a lot right there.
So as I was coming into T2, I noticed Caitlin run past me because her transition area was a little further down from mine, and I was so excited to see her. Even though she told me not to let her catch me, that was fine with me because she caught me, so I knew she had a good swim and knew she had a good bike, and I was just waiting for her to go crush it on the run. So we got to run out together a little bit. We got to run onto the track together.
Unfortunately, about mile 2 or so, I started getting one of those niggles that we like to call. I tried to keep my head clear of that, and I tried to focus on, racing tall, elbows back, trying to keep my cadence up. But it wandered back to that same little niggle, and I think that kind of impeded my run a little bit. My run was a PR, but still I'm not completely satisfied with my run.
On the run, I really just focused on keeping my heart rate at the target that I needed to, and I did that. The first 6-7 miles, I was right on spot where I wanted to be, and then mile 8, 9, 10, I bumped up that heart rate.
I came on to the finish line chute probably just under a minute after her, and I saw her at the finish line waiting for me, and I couldn't do anything more but to just get there as fast as I could and get in their arms and have that celebratory moment together.
I got to watch her run down the chute, and just to see the smile on her face and to reunite with her at the finish line, it's so special.
I'm proud of you, love.
Proud of you.
Wow, you dig.
Damn, what a day. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Perfect day for a race. Swim PR, bike PR, run PR, 70.3 PR.
Can't ask for anything else, right?
It's what we came for. It's what we came for. And that we got to do it together. That's how we roll. Knowing that we went sub 6, that we've been trying to get for so many years, to do it in such a big way, a 36-minute PR, just over the moon. So happy and so grateful to have the opportunity to do this.